Hey, in this video, we are going to discuss 5 reasons you do not want to do a rent-to-own, also known as a lease option or an installment land contract. I'm Tony Anderson, 23 years experience in residential real estate. I own RealEstateOfColorado, LLC, our company, but I am not an attorney, and this is not legal advice, but I took a course a while back from an attorney at the board of realtors that I belong to with this information. So just wanted to let you know that. Be sure to watch till the end because number 5 is crazy. Okay, you'll want to watch that. Number 1, seller still owns the property until you actually purchase at the agreed upon time. You know, it could be 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, but that seller still owns that property. The landlord. There's a lot of scams out there too. Make sure that that person really owns the property because they may not. And I can help you with that too because I can look up to see who owns what property. So just number 1, seller still owns the property. You have a leasehold interest in the property and you have equitable title, but you don't have legal title. You can't sell the property. It's not your property until you do the purchase. Number 2, foreclosures. What if your landlord slash seller, because he's a landlord slash seller and you are the tenant slash buyer. What if he decides to take all your payments and save up for a boat or a motorcycle and is not making his house payments? The bank takes over and you are evicted. So bye-bye. That could be a problem. Number 3, liens. If there's been work done on the property, such as a new roof or a furnace or some landscaping or just whatever, and there's a lien on the property, it comes time for you to buy it and the seller doesn't pay that, are you willing to pay thousands of dollars to pay off a lien? So that's number 3 is a problem. Number 4, divorce. Landlord slash seller gets a divorce. Spouse forces the sale of the property or decides to move into the property in that divorce settlement, and you're out of there in a divorce situation. So that's, a pretty important thing as well. So what's the crazy one? I promised you, number 5. Here's the crazy truth. Here's why landlords love lease options, okay? They convince you that since it's your property, going to be your property once your time is up, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever it happens to be, since it's going to be your property, you are responsible for the maintenance. So it is different legally than a regular tenant-landlord situation where the landlord is required to keep the property in safe condition and habitable and all that stuff. But if you've got a lease option, installment land contract, or a rent-to-own, guess what? You're the new buyer, and it's going to be your property, and they love that. So you go fix the properties, and sometimes they'll even work out a deal where you pay a little bit less in your rent if you do upgrades to the property, new sink, some appliances or whatever. But then what happens is that one of those things above that I just talked about, whether it's a foreclosure, a lien, a divorce, you're not getting the property and you just spent money on, and he says thank you for that new roof and the new appliances and the new sink. And here's another truth, guys. 80% of these things fall through. 80% of lease options fall through, and the landlord got away with not having to fix the property. So great for landlords. So, that's something for you to think about. 80% of these fall through. And I want to be respectful here, but the reason it's that high is because people with bad credit and no money, which is why people do these, right? It's because they don't have down money, their credit's not good, and there's sometimes really good reasons for that, and we understand that. But 80% of the time, people with bad credit and no money, 3 years, 5 years later, guess what? They still have bad credit and no money. And who wins in this situation? The landlord / seller. So don't be lured into these things, okay? It's smartest. The solution is to be patient. Good things come to those who wait. Be patient, work hard, get your credit scores up. There's also grant money out there too. We can talk to you a little bit about that. So, we live in a society right now where people want it, gotta have it. I don't care if I have bad credit, no money, I want it. This is what can happen. Somebody actually called me about a year ago and said, hey, I want to sell my house. So I looked it up and I'm like, your name's not on that house. He goes, well, I've had this installment land contract lease option thing for 10 years, but it was a really bad contract. Turns out he didn't own it. He couldn't sell it. And he was a little ticked off because he put a new roof and some of those things I told you about. He's just a tenant and he didn't know it. So got to be really careful with these. Again, I'm Tony Anderson, Real Estate of Colorado. And if you have any questions regarding this, please feel free to call the number below. Oh, the market outside is frightful. If we make it more delightful, you need to know where to go. Let us know, let us know, let us know. So, love to help you with your real estate needs, or I'll play for you anytime. So, Tony Anderson, Real Estate of Colorado, business for 23 years, been playing guitar for about 30 years. And we have some Taylors and Martins, some classical guitars. I play flamenco, which is why I have acrylic nails on 4 fingers. And as I do that, except I do it on a classical guitar, not this one.